Steve, you've named your first Scotland squad. How difficult was it in terms of the timescales and getting in touch with everyone?
Yeah, I think it's been a busy week. I mean, obviously, not so long ago I was commandant manager, reflecting on a really good season, and then suddenly I had turned up here as the Scotland national team manager. Lots of phone calls, lots of people to talk to, but now I'm delighted with the squad that I've got, and I look forward to working with the players.
It's a slightly bigger squad, is that just so you can get a closer look at it?
Yeah, it gives me a chance to have a look at one or two extra players, if you like. Obviously, I think before we go to Belgium I can trim the squad down a little bit so that nobody's travelling unnecessarily, but there's enough there, and obviously I'm still waiting on Johnny Russell coming through a game in America. Andy Robertson's got to come through the Champions League final as well, so it was better just to have a little bit bigger group, and like you say, a chance for me to have a look at many more players.
You mentioned Kilmarnock, your old club. 4 players in there, 2 first-time call-ups, and Greg Taylor, Eamon Brophy.
Yeah.
You know them well. Tell us what they can add to the squad.
No, I think, people will look at it and probably think, he's just picking players from Kilmarnock for the sake of it. It's not true. All the boys that are in the squad deserve to be in. Stephen O'Donnell's an established player at right back, 7 caps. Stuart Finney was in the last squad that Alex picked. Stuart's had a great season. We've obviously got 1 or 2 injury problems in the left back position. Like I said before, Andy Robertson's still got to get through the Champions League final. Kieran Tierney's out. Barry Douglas I spoke to, he's also injured. So it was just a case of promoting Greg up from the very good performances that he's had for Scotland under 21s. Had a terrific season last year, probably the most consistent left back in the SPL, so deserves his chance. Up front I've also got a lot of injury problems, a lot of people not available, so Eamon Brophy was an obvious choice for me.
When you look at, you mentioned at your first media conference about trying to ascertain whether players wanted to play for Scotland, those that have been in and out but haven't declared they've retired. Did you have conversations with the likes of Stephen Fletcher, Barry Barron, guys like that?
Yeah, I've had lots of really positive conversations, but obviously at this stage of the season, or at the time that I came to the job, was a very short space of time to try and get people to change their plans. You know, I think there's three out of the boys that I spoke to have got their weddings this year. You know, those things take a lot of planning, a lot of organising. So if you're not involved in the squad and then suddenly you're getting a phone call to say, would you like to join us, it's very difficult to change perception, or to change people's mind at this stage of the season. But I would say, out of all the conversations I've had, and I've had many, I would say 90% of the conversations are positive, so I take a lot of good heart for that.
Can you give us any names of the those that are wanting to come?
No, I think the important thing for me is when I spoke to all the players, I told them that the conversations would remain private between me and them, I was a little bit disappointed that the conversation that I had with Liam Cooper came out in the press, but these are some of the things that you have to put up with.
When you look at players that are coming back in, the likes of Tom Kearney, who's not been in for a while, David Marshall back as well, what will they bring, and is that good to have them back in?
Well, I think David was an important one. He's an experienced goalkeeper. He's got a good number of caps. I think coming into a group of goalkeepers who maybe don't have so many caps or so much experience, it was good to get David back on board, and he was very willing to come. Tom Kearney, I phoned up, wasn't too sure about Tom's circumstances, how often he'd been involved with the squad before, but immediately I spoke to him, it was like, no, I want to be there, which is great. And the squad of players that I've got here, they all want to be here, and they've got first crack at it, because I get a chance to work with them, and if they do terrifically well in the 2 matches coming up, then it can only be good for us in the future.
Steve, are there some players maybe they can count themselves unlucky not to in your squad, the likes of young David Turnbull at Motherwell and also John Fleck?
Yeah, and Lewis Ferguson, Aberdeen, the younger ones. John Fleck is actually one of the wedding party. John's been he's had his wedding booked for 2 years now, so we wish him well in that. But no, listen, the 2 young boys, Lewis Ferguson and David Turnbull, are very much in my thoughts. But for this camp, I just decided that it was maybe a little bit too early. You've got to give these young boys time to grow as well. So in the thoughts, but definitely for the future.
And in terms of these 2 games coming up, in terms of what you want to take from them, I think you touched upon it when you when you were unveiled as Scotland manager,
Yep.
you see them as vital to take 4 points, I think you said. Is that still what you're thinking?
It'd be great to take 6. That has to be the aim. There's no point in going into a game thinking you're not going to win it. So I think you also have to pay respect to your opposition. You know, we have to understand where we are as a national team. We're probably not in the best moment, but it's up to the players that I've selected, and it's up to myself and my staff to make sure that we get a positive result against a Cyprus team that people might underestimate. They have some good qualities. Will be a difficult opponent for us, but it's a game that we have to look forward to with positivity and try to win the game. On the back of that, you play the Belgians, who are, I think, currently ranked world number 1. So that should be an interesting game.
Do you have a basic first team in mind at the moment, or is it mix and match for both games?
If I say, I've probably got about 75% the team in mind. But with the players that we've got, they've always got next week to change my mind. You know, if they go into camp and show me that they're in a really good place, then my mind is always open. It's always open to change.
You've got the same frustrating problem that other Scotland managers have had. You've got an attack there without a striker who scored an international goal.
Yeah, what a great chance for the strikers that are there. Listen, a lot of injury problems up front. When you look at the ones that are not available, Stephen Naismith, Ollie McBurney's got a rib injury which ruled him out. Lee Griffiths has got obviously had the problems that he's had. It was nice to read about Lee, that he was hoping to be back pre-season, so that's good for everybody. It's good for Lee and it's good for everybody.
There obviously wasn't a lot of time between you getting the job and then having to make this selection. How tough was the selection process?
Very, if I'm honest. Took me a long time, a big list of names, lots of bits of paper ripped up and starting again. But eventually got there, and I'm really pleased the way the squad looks. I'm really pleased at the number of options that I've got, and hopefully we get a good Scottish team on the pitch that entertains the public.
Now that the names are set in stone, is it just a case of you're now looking forward to getting the squad together and getting your first sessions in there?
You know me too well. Can't wait for next Sunday night when all the boys meet in the hotel and the Monday training session. I'll probably need to calm myself down a little bit and make sure I don't give them too much work.
Is there any development on your backroom staff?
Yeah, backroom staff is shaping up pretty well. Alex Dyer will be with me. He'll stay at Kilmarnock to do his job, but he'll be with us in the camps, and Alex is committed to the end of the Euro 2020s. So he's with me.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going to bring Stephen Reid. Stephen is a coach. He's a player that I know. He's a coach that I know. And I think it's important for me that I go into the first camp comfortable with the staff that are with me, staff that understand how I work. Stephen's a little bit younger, so he'll have a better handle on the mentality of the younger players in the dressing room. And he's also an experienced international player who's been involved in World Cup campaigns and actually played in the World Cup for the Republic. So I think he's a good addition.
Where does he come from? Was he at a club?
He was helping out at West Brom towards the end of last season, but when they didn't make the step up to the playoff final, Stephen's now looking for a job, and thankfully I've been able to give him one. Stevie Woods will come back for a little bit of continuity with the goalkeeping department. I think it's important. But unfortunately Stevie will miss the first couple of days camp because he'd made other plans after he thought he wasn't going to be involved, which is good, and it means I can bring Billy Thompson, who I know very well, and Billy can help us through the first week.
Steve, just to go back to Eamon Brophy, is he a great example of what he can achieve? A young player maybe left Hamilton and has just forged a career for himself at Kilmarnock and gone out in the Scotland squad, which nobody would have probably imagined 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. He's just a developing young player. I think he would have scored more goals last season if he hadn't had so many injury problems. He had one or two injury issues that he couldn't quite shake off. Towards the end of the season, when he got himself fully fit, the games ran out and stopped. So I'm hoping that Eamon comes into camp and shows the same attitude that he shows day in, day out. When I had him at Kilmarnock, he worked every day in training. He worked hard, and he's a natural goal scorer. But I've also got Mark McNulty, who's also a goal scorer. So there are goals there. I know they haven't scored international goals, but there are goals there in both those strikers.
You spoke earlier about those who missed out through youth, but still a relatively young squad. How much are you looking towards the future? I know you've only been in the job a short while.
I think you always have to look to the future. Is also why I brought in David Marshall, his experience. I've put Charlie Mulgrew in the squad, who's experienced. So you need these experienced players in and around the camp, just to help the younger ones.
And with that, then you said whenever you were appointed that this was an opportunity for everyone to get a clean slate. Do you feel like everyone who's listed on this team will take that opportunity?
I'd like to think so. It's a great honour to represent your country, and I hope all of them, I'm pretty sure all of them on that list want to be there.
How much of it is difficult striking the balance though between the fatigue at the end of the season and the importance of these games?
Well, that's something I'm going to have to learn on the job. I think I'm an experienced coach. I understand the workload that some of the players have had. One or two of the players have finished their season 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they probably need a little bit more work, but you can't put too much work into their legs before a big game. So it'll be an interesting week for me as a coach. I've got good staff round about me, and hopefully we strike the right balance.
Steve, the previous manager used various formations. Are you likely to implement one formation, one playing style, or vary and adapt to the opponent?
It's a good question, that. Well done. The thing we obviously have to get to know the players. I have to get to understand how the players feel. My preferred formation at Kilmarnock was always to have a back four. I didn't use a back three. It's a system that I know and understand quite well. I prefer the back four, and if that suits the players that we've got, then we'll go with a back four. In front of that, you can tweak around the midfield and the forwards, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, whatever you want to call it. It comes down to the ability and the game understanding your players. If they understand what you're doing, the formation in front can be different. But normally I go with a back four.
So could we see a more attacking formation, more attacking style here at Hampden, but then over in Brussels, slightly more?
Hopefully you'll see a system and a formation and a group of players that win matches. Whether it's attacking, whether you win the match by attacking or whether you win the match by defending is probably irrelevant to me as a coach. I just want to win the matches, and I think the Tartan Army would be quite happy if we just win the matches.
Looking to just how good John McGinn's been for Villa and how important he was in that playoff match, are you excited to take him on this season given the experience he's got since he's moved?
I hope he didn't drink too much champagne, to be honest. There's plenty of champagne getting thrown around. No, he was terrific in the game yesterday. I sat and watched the game, and I was really pleased for him. And it was obviously a good weekend for the McGinn brothers.
Marshall as well, it's been a while since he's been in international football. I mean, it'll be interesting to see him back in the fold. Straight
away, when I phoned David, he was enthusiastic, determined, desperate to get back in the camp. So yeah, I look forward to meeting all the players, so not just David.
Is the goalkeeping position something that you in your mind now know who your number one's going to be, or will you kind of see how they are?
No, I think it's better to look at everybody in training, keep an open mind, and pick the one who's best for the job.